Welcome back to AskAPop. Today we're talking about hashtag breathe. Almost 29 years ago, I started with the company that I'm still working with today. And when I first started, I asked my boss at the time, what my work hours were. And he told me since it was a salaried position that I could, basically, come and go when I needed to. But he said, if you need hours, kind of come in by 8 o'clock and you can leave about 4:30, but, stay until you're done for the day. You come in when you need. And a few weeks into the job, I called him up and said, yeah, boss, I got a problem here because I've been coming in about 5 o'clock to beat traffic, but I've been staying until after 7 o'clock at night. And there's no way I'm getting done with everything. I'm working and working, but I just fall further and further behind. And that's when he kind of chuckled at me and told me that I'm doing great work, but I misunderstood him because when he meant done, he didn't mean done with the work because there's always going to be more work than there is people. He meant done by saying, I'm done. I got to get out of here. And he told me I probably needed to work on getting a better work-life balance. It's kind of a long intro, but now I'd like to say that my to-do list gets to done better over time. But in my line of work, they tend to think that we're magicians and we can figure out how to get 8 gallons of water in a 5 gallon bucket. But on top of that, there's always a chore list at home. And in my family particularly, all the birthdays in the family reside in about a 4 month period, and that's coming up. So between that and the holidays and everything else, it gets hectic a few months out of the year. But you know what? We have few choices about that. And not only do I recognize it, he recognizes it too. But he gave us 10 rules to live by. One of those rules is to take time, breathe, rest, and worship him at that time of rest. Now, granted, we can't usually take a whole day of it, but taking time to remember the Sabbath, take time to rest, worship him. Matter of fact, he made that rule just as important as taking the rule to not delete one another. Take that into consideration. Those two rules are just as equally important with each other. And usually, if you take time to follow one of them, it'll make you a whole lot more likely to not do the other one. Wonder if he had that in mind. Of course he did, because he knows everything. And he put that into existence for himself when he first created the universe. Now, this is just a thought from a guy that is, known for working 60-hour weeks, but also I've tried to find time to do what's really important in life and recognize the people I love, as well as recognize him as often as I can. The Bible verses today are Ecclesiastes 3:9-15 and Psalm 118:21-29. As far as questions go, how do you break the tension in your work week? Do you try to find a work-life balance yourself? I know it's unrealistic, like I said, for 50-50 work-life balance or even to try to find a full day for most people. But like I said, trying to get, any time in there or as much time in there as you can for friends, families, loved ones, and especially time with him. Any of that time is always a great recharging and refreshing of your batteries. God bless you. Have a great day.